What's up YouTube, Dedro here, bringing the video today. Today I'm going to be showcasing a Crusadia deck profile. I think this deck actually has extreme potential to be really good in the meta. It can compete against most decks right now, and that's just because it can OTK. Now, I do think that in the future this deck gets even better, and I'll kind of talk about that while I explain some of the cards and what they do. But I do think this deck has potential to get better once the ban list comes out and just once certain cards get released in the here in the TCG. So we'll kind of get into this. Like I said, it is an OTK deck, so you do actually want to go second with this deck. It generates so much damage on board turn 1 with such a little amount of comboing. Actually, it's pretty insane. So you do want to go second. And then at the end of the video, I'll have a tutorial on how to perform the combos and see how well it works. So first off, we play 3 Crusadia Maximus. And one thing I gotta mention is that all the Crusadia monsters actually have the built-in effect that they can special summon themselves to a zone a link monster points to, and then some of their effects get triggered by this, and all the Crusadia links monsters effects get triggered by this. So it's actually super powerful, just super good. And then they all have secondary effects as well, which makes them good monsters, because anything that has secondary effects or more than one effect is usually a lot better than things that only have one effect. And Maximus's secondary effect is that he can target one Crusadia monster you control. For the rest of the turn, any battle damage it deals is doubled. And he is one of the main reasons that you are able to OTK so often using his effect. Now, we also play through Crusadia Draco. This card is absolutely nuts. It's probably the best card or the best monster in the deck. At least in the main deck, that is. His secondary effect is when he's special summoned to a link, a link zone a monster points to. He can add one Crusadia card from your graveyard to your hand. And he allows you just to loop and go off and allow you to keep link climbing. And you do start at link 1, so he's just super powerful. One thing to mention with him as well, if you get him early, it doesn't matter when you use him, but if you get him early into the combo, when you go for your Magius, he allows you to actually chain block, because he has a trigger effect and Magius is a trigger effect, so you get to choose the chain links before your opponent gets to respond. So it's super powerful there. So usually you want to go use him to be chain link 2, and then Magius is chain link 1, and then that's a successful chain block, because they cannot respond to negate your Magius, and your Magius is the one that you really need to go off. But he allows you to do that. I think there is one other card in the deck that allows you to do that, but it ends up like not being very useful. But yeah. Then you can run 3 Crusadia Leonis. I think that's how you say it, or Leonis. I don't know. He allows you to target one Crusadia monster you control for the rest of the turn and inflicts piercing damage, which is very good, so you can actually OTK even if your opponent has stuff set or have defense monsters or the scapegoat, anything like that. You can actually OTK with him if you have him on the board. Super powerful. Plus he's 1200 attack, which is one of the higher attack for these Crusadia monsters, so you do kind of want to end on him. He ends up being very powerful if you end on him. Then we run 3 Crusadia Ouroborea. Now, she's actually really good. She's a Return of the Dragon Lords while she's in the field or on the graveyard. Or in the graveyard or on the field. So that means she allows you to banish her to stop the destruction of one Crusadia monster on your field. So if they try to do anything while this is in the graveyard, you just banish it instead. Save your monster. Ends up being very powerful. And she's also a tuner, so when we get Needle Fiber, it's going to be really good, really easy to play this deck. Just go off with it, honestly. It's going to be super crazy, so I'm very excited for that. Then we play 3 Reclusia. Now, Reclusia is the other one that allows you to chain block, but unfortunately you do have to tribute, so you actually just end up not wanting to ever chain block with it, because what it allows you to do is you can target when it's special summoned, you can target one Crusadia card you control and one card your opponent controls, or is it monster? It may be monster. No, it's just one card. One card your opponent controls. and destroy them both. So though it allows you to chain block if you're really that worried that your opponent has an Ash, but it also stops your link climbing, but sometimes it's not as important anyway. So yeah. And then that's it for the Crusadia monsters that we play. We do play 3 of each, and that's because some of the main deck choices. I do think it's actually important to play 3 of each, just because you want to see at least 2, but it's optimal to see 3 different Crusadia monsters, so you definitely want to play 3 of each. That's why. And then we play 2 World Legacy World Crown. Now, what this allows you to do, it has the same effect as the Crusadia monsters. If it can special summon itself to a link zone that a monster points to, so that it's super powerful. It has 2,000 attack, and then it also actually has a secondary effect that it can tribute itself to negate one monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, so it can negate one monster effect that if it was special summoned from the extra deck. Now, it's just really powerful, it being 2,000, so if you can end on this and Equinox, it's really good. But also, if you don't draw enough Crusadia monsters, this allows you to trigger your Crusadia Link monster effects to be able to add, and then you can Link climb with it, which making it super powerful in the deck. Then, we play a Kaiju package. We play 3 Gameciel, 1 Kugamungus, and 1 Dugaron. The reason where you play these ones is that, honestly, it doesn't really matter which Kaijus you play. Your Crusadia monsters end up just gaining the attack for these anyway. What doesn't matter what side they're on the field, so it ends up not mattering. It's a little bit better if you can give them a Gameciel. I would be playing, honestly, I can't find another big one, so that's why I'm playing the Kugamungus. But it's better to play the big ones. If I had the Star Destroyer one that was 3,300, I'd be playing that over this. And these allow you to gain the attack with Equimax, and allow you to perform the OTK. Actually, if you draw these, most likely you have an OTK. Doesn't matter if it's the Dugaran or that one. If you draw 2 of them, then it's absolutely just crazy, because you're probably going to win that game very easily. And then we'll kind of go, I'll just throw in the Kaiju Slumber here as well, since I just did the Kaijus. You play this, if you can destroy all your opponent's monsters and just leave them with the Kaiju, it's very powerful, and there's a good chance you have the OTK that turn, if you drew the right Crusadia monsters, just because of that. Now, we play 2 Crusadia Revival. This field spell allows you to target 1 Link monster, 1 Crusadia Link monster you have on the field, and it can attack every monster your opponent controls once each, and then also gains 500 attack. Any Crusadia Link monster gains 500 attack. Now, this card isn't that important, actually. That's why I'm only playing 2. It is searchable with Regulex from the extra deck, so if you really need it, it's good. But you don't absolutely need it. You don't need it to OTK. It doesn't really matter. Usually you can put enough damage without this, and you don't only have to do 1 attack to win the duel anyway, most of the time. So this isn't that important, but it's nice to have, especially if your opponent has Scapegoat and you just don't have the OTK. You can get rid of anything, all those Scapegoat tokens. 3 Crusadia Power. This card is actually really good. It can stop your things from... it's pretty much a Forbidden Lance. Target 1 Crusadia monster you control. It's unaffected by card effects for this turn, so it can even stop hand traps and that kind of stuff. Just very powerful card to have. It stops through disruptions and saves your monsters and keeps you going. And this is searchable too, so very powerful. We play 3 Called by the Graves. We do not want to get disrupted. This is an OTK deck. This is a combo deck. You do not want to get disrupted. This is kind of mandatory in these style decks, in my opinion. So that's all I really have to say. You can, screw hand traps, whatever. Then we play 2 World Legacy Succession. What this allows you to do is, it's just a Monster Reborn, essentially. And it allows you to special summon 1 monster from your graveyard to a monster a link zone points to, which is very powerful once again. It's a Monster Reborn for any of your Crusadia cards. Yeah, and this allows you to continue on even if you got disrupted with it earlier in the duel and stuff like that. So just a good card overall. Then we actually play 1 Monster Reborn as well. Kind of the same reasoning behind this. Yeah. you do want to see these turn 1. Like if you're when you're for your first turn, these are good to see. You don't want to see multiples of them, but they are good to see one of. It'll just once again, it just kind of allows the OTK to happen more often. Then we're playing 3 Potted Desires, and this is kind of why we're actually playing 3 of each Crusadia monster, because you probably wouldn't need to play 3 of each one if you were just running not Desires. Originally, I was playing 2 Pinpoint Landings and then like one other draw card. I think it was just like Upstart, but sometimes Upstart is like, it does cause you just not to OTK, even though this can honestly put like 10k damage on board quite easily. But like honestly, you don't really, you just need to see your combo pieces. So this card just helps you see them a little bit more often. Allows you to go +1 rather than just pretty much Upstart Goblin like Pinpoint Landing was. I thought Pinpoint Landing is really good in the deck, but the problem with it is that this deck's not a grind deck. Pinpoint Landing is really for grinding in multiple turns, so it doesn't really do much in the deck besides it's a even out. So it's pretty much just running an Upstart Goblin, which I just figured Potted Desires would help me see combo pieces more often. When you run 3 of each Crusadia monster, it's not often that you're going to banish combo pieces that you don't that you really needed. Plus, you don't really search in the deck besides like once per turn, so it's just not that important. So Potted Desires just helps you win faster, win easier, and I'm big. I actually hate on people who run 3 most of the time. I don't think 3 is a good choice, but since it's a 1-turn combo deck that just wins in 1 turn most of the time, I think it's absolutely fine here. Then we play 1 Foolish and 1 Reinforcement of the Army. One of our Crusadia monsters is Warrior. It's not like the super important one. It's actually Ouroborea. She's the one who's Return of the Dragon Lords to save monsters. But just being able to see, have a little bit more consistency of a draw of a Crusadia monster is just that important, because you do want to see more than 1 Crusadia monster in your opening hand. And then Foolish Burial is really good because Draco is super powerful. And if you only really see Crusadia monsters that you don't have access to, you can send like Maximus or any ones that you need, or Leonis, whatever ones you need to the graveyard, and add it back with Draco. So it's just a very powerful card there to be able to do so. And that's kind of the reasoning behind this. And then later on, when we get Needle Fiber and Hole Bulb, this will be played as well. So super good. And then we play 1 Trap, and that's Crusadia Vanguard. This just honestly, it gives you access to, if your opponent makes you go first, it allows you to do something on your turn, and set up just a little bit differently. So I'll kind of explain that after too. Pretty much what it does is it allows you to tribute 1 Crusadia monster you control, and it's a special summon from the graveyard or from the deck, 1 Crusadia monster with a different name, and it allows you to trigger different monsters like Reclusia or Draco, and just gain more advantage. And then any monster, your opponent cannot only attack Crusadia Link monsters, so it saves when you end on Equimax, his attack's usually going to be like at least 3,000-4,000 attack quite often. So they have to attack him. They can't attack the little things. So that's very powerful. And it stalls your opponent from being able to really do anything. Okay, now on to the extra deck. We play 3 Crusadia Magius. What Magius allows you, so just like how the Crusadia monsters all have effects that and then they have first effects and secondary first effects. All the first effects of the Crusadia Link monsters are that they gain attack equal to the original attack of any monster they point to. So they all have that effect, and then that monster can attack that turn, or any monster that points to cannot attack. And then Crusadia Magius has a secondary effect where it allows you, when a monster is special summoned to the zone it points to, you can add 1 Crusadia monster from your deck to your hand. So very good trigger effect. This allows you to loop and OTK. Once again, they all kind of allow to OTK. Then we play 3 Crusadia Regulex. And Its secondary effect is you can add when a monster is special summoned to a link zone it points to, you can add one Crusadia spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Very powerful. You can add power, revival, the field spell to allow you to attack everything or gain 500 attack, or you can add your power if you're worried, or you can add the trap card Vanguard. It allows you to add that because if you're going first. Then we play Equimax, or should we say One Punch Man. He's the reason you OTK. Him and him alone is just super powerful. Now, since he gains the attack of any monster he points to, he also has an up arrow, so he can gain that attack of your opponent's monster. That your opponent's monster that he points to cannot actually attack, so that's actually super powerful. And then his secondary effect is really good as well. His secondary effect is you contribute one Crusadia or World Legacy monster this card points to, and negate target one card on the field. I think it's one face-up card on the field. It's one face-up card on the field, and negate its effects until the end of this turn. So even if it's spells and anything, you can actually just negate anything. He has one negate on board just with him, so super powerful card. And he allows you to do a lot of damage to your opponent. And a lot of times you have him up to like 5,000. Then we play the toolbox link monsters, which would be like Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, and Nightmare Unicorn. We aren't playing the Goblin. It just never really comes up. You don't really need it at all. These are just toolbox. Very easy to make in this deck, like super easy, since your stuff can link climb. And then actually you can link climb with these very easily. Then we play one Boral Sword Dragon. Who doesn't need more OTK power in an OTK deck? Super powerful card. You don't really need to play Borreload, just because he gets over Borreload. He's just better, so it doesn't really matter. He's the best one to have. Yeah. And then we play one Sage of Skuldred just in case you need to draw into more stuff. It's just another card to play, and then obviously the added effect that it has so many arrows. You can special summon your Crusadia monsters and they gain attack. It's just super good. And then the last card we play is actually Topologic Bomber Dragon. And let me tell you, this card is actually amazing in the deck. Since it is really easy to link climb to, all you need is a Equinox or Equimax and one card. And then since all the Crusadia monsters trigger from any links arrows, it can actually trigger Bomber's effect pretty much whenever you want. You can trigger his effects so easily with them. It's super good. This is a powerful card to have in this deck. And he is only 2+ like effect monsters. Like I said, it only takes an Equimax and one other card to make him. So very powerful. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. And I'll kind of set up here to show you guys a comp. Alright guys, so I actually shuffled the deck up and chose some test hands. And this is the first hand that I actually received. This is probably like the most optimal hand. This isn't going to happen every time. In order to do this combo, all you really need is one Crusadia Maximus. You really need him. He's probably the most important one to draw. Or like you really just need 2 Crusadia monsters a lot of the times because you can add him, but you need to draw him or Crusadia Draco plus one other Crusadia monster to enable the OTK. As long as it's Maximus or Draco and then any other Crusadia monster, you can OTK quite easily. And then if you draw a Gamma Seal alongside it, you pretty much guarantee yourself the OTK. So we'll kind of go into this. First off, if your opponent has any negates on board, you're going to want to activate your Gamma Seal. And these are the extra deck monster zone guys, just for an example for you guys to see, because link zones do matter quite a bit for this deck. So say your opponent has a Meta Ball or just a negate on board that you need to get rid of. You want to special summon your Gamma Seal now to their side of the field by attributing that monster. You're going to want to do this no matter what, even if they have like a monster with like 1500 attack. The reason you do this is that you get to place it where you want. So you're going to want to place it in one of the 2 link zones, above one of the 2 link zones, whichever one you want to be occupying. It really doesn't matter which one, you just need to occupy one of them, and it needs to be the one that above the one that you're going to occupy, just because it's going to allow you to gain the attack of the Gamma Seal, and then pretty much you're going to be doing a direct attack since the Gamma Seal's attack is going to be gained through that. So that's what it's pretty much going to allow you to do. And so for the rest of the hand, so now we're going to start off by activating our Rhoda, which allows us to add Ouroborea. So that's just kind of self-explanatory. Then we want to so since we actually opened a couple Crusadia cards, we can normal summon this or do this in different ways. But I'm probably gonna just do it to show you the guys the way where we have Maximus, where we normal summon Maximus. Say if we only open 2 Crusadia monsters here. But yeah. So first off, we're going to normal summon our Crusadia Maximus and then immediately link summon off with it. This will bring us our Crusadia Magius out to the field. Now we will take one of our Crusadia monsters. It doesn't matter which one here, because we're going to use one either way. Right now I'd go Ouroborea because Leonis is a little bit better to have for later in the game. We're going to special summon it to the zone that Magius points to. Then that's going to trigger Magius's effect to allow us to add 1 Crusadia monster from our deck to our hand. And that's where we add Crusadia Draco. He's the one you want to add, or if you have Draco in hand still, you want to add Maximus. Whichever one you don't have, you just need to have one of the 2, either Maximus or Draco. So we're going to add Draco in this case. Now we will take our Crusadia monsters we have on the field, and we're going to make Crusadia Regulex. Now, this is pretty much just a link climb. This is going to allow you to get a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter what we're doing here. We're going to be able to do this combo without activating World Legacy Succession, which is like absolutely amazing. And then we're going to activate Crusadia Draco's effect, special summon himself. This is going to trigger Regulex's effects and trigger Crusadia Draco's effect. This is where you can chain block, and I probably would chain block just so they can't ash it. And it would be just really good. So you want to go chain link 1 Regulex, chain link 2 Draco, so they can't ash your Regulex. And then Draco is going to target Maximus in graveyard, add it to your hand. And then you're going to use Regulex to add Crusadia Revival to your hand. This could be Revival or Power, whichever one you're... if you're scared of back row, then it can be Power. But most of the time I'll go for Revival just in case they activate a Scapegoat or anything to stop themselves from being killed. Which they can't really stop right now anyway. So right now I might go Power instead, but we'll just, for the sake of the video, we'll go Revival here and add those to your hand. Now, what we can do here is link summon here for our Equimax. Equimax is going to be placed in the zone right above Gamma Seal. We can activate a Revival target right now, target Equimax, and allow him to attack everything your opponent controls. Not really relevant right now. Now we can activate Maximus's effect, special summon it in the middle zone or the right zone. We're going to activate his effect, targeting Equimax, allowing him to do double damage. So right now, Equimax is actually at, he's at 41, which right now is more than enough for a game. We would just win the game if we attacked, because he's not at 41, he's at, he would be doing 4,100 damage, plus double the damage, so that'd be 82. He's actually at, he's at 41, he's at 6,300 attack. And then right now, if we want to just go for overkill, we can special summon our World Legacy, World Legacy World Survivor, or World Crown, sorry, or we can summon our Crusadia Leonis and worry about if they have any other monsters and allow him to do piercing. But pretty much this is more than enough for game as long as you attack the Gamma Seal. Just these two attacking over Gamma Seal will be a game that's it's more than enough damage to kill your opponent. And that's really the basics of the combo. That's all you really have to do. You can do it in many different ways, so just do test hands, guys, to try. Just to see different things. So, but that's literally the extent of the combo. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. We will talk to you guys later. See ya.